Counting double-digit thousands racks.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Russ, and welcome to my first player review of Madden 18 Ultimate Team. Today, we're going to do a review on the 82 overall middle linebacker team of the week, Haason Reddick. So for those of you that did not see my Madden 17 player reviews, basically how I did them was I picked one gameplay, showed all of it, offense and defense, and basically just talked about the card throughout. But for Madden 18, I want to make it more professional, so you guys will only see defensive plays for this gameplay. Because the card we're focusing on is on defense, and I want to show you guys as much defensive gameplay as I can of this Haason Reddick. And in future player reviews of offensive players, I will only show offense. I think it's pretty self-explanatory how I'm going to do it. But something new that I did add is now I'm going to have a grading system at the end of each video and also a final grade or a final rating for the player. I'm really trying to take this seriously, guys. I actually have a notepad where I am for real writing notes down about these cards to let you guys know how they play. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this gameplay and review this card. So we are now into the gameplay, and you guys see it's just defensive plays. So if you guys want to focus on Haason Reddick, I'm going to be using him for the first game. When you guys see it switch games, I'm going to let him play zone by himself. I'm going to be using Ryan Shazier. Just try to pay attention to Haason Reddick and make your own judgment, also with me talking and kind of going through the card for myself. So for Haason Reddick, I'm going to be going through 5 different categories, and that's going to be coverage, tackle, run stopping, speed, and blitzing. So let's go ahead and start out with coverage. Now for coverage, this card did not really play fantastic in coverage. I'm going to go ahead and tell you why. Because he has a low zone rating. He has like 70 zone. He has the speed. He has everything else. But that zone, man, it's really not that great. I found him like not really playing his zone and really reading gaps bad. And honestly, letting up a lot of stuff over the middle. But he also did play decent at times and was able to make a couple picks when he was just playing in his user zone. Or in his CPU zone, I should say. For the most part, Haason Reddick is a user linebacker. You're not really going to want to let him sit in the middle of the field as a zone linebacker that you don't user. He's probably not going to make a ton of plays that way. So the next thing I want to talk about is tackle. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised with the low tackle rating of 76. He was a pretty sure tackler. Anytime he really came across anybody, he would tackle them in one tackle. Obviously, you don't have multiple tackles on one play, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Not really many broken tackles against him, if any. There was maybe 1 or 2 that I ran into in solo challenges. Other than that, he played great tackling. And honestly, I would say that tackling is one of the biggest strengths of this card. So the next thing I want to talk about is run stopping. Can Haason Reddick stop the run? And the answer is kinda. Like I said, he was a sure tackler, but I'm looking for plays where if he's in the middle of the field, he should be there stopping the run every time. And honestly, there were some times where I felt he was missing. I'm not sure if that was his play rec or his awareness or anything like that. But he was not the greatest run stopper in the world. But like I said, he is a sure tackler. So anytime he came across anybody, you know, he would tackle him in one hit. But other than that, I felt he was pretty mediocre at stopping the run. He was kind of like any other run-of-the-mill player you're going to come across. And wasn't like a guy you're going to send on blitzes, which I will talk about in just a second. So the next thing and his biggest strength is his speed. He has a 85 speed and 86 excel along with 83 agility, and it's deadly. Now for those of you that are planning to get this card to use him as a user, this is the part you want to listen to. Haason Reddick for me felt like a missile running across the field. He was so fast. He was along with Ryan Shazier as well, who I've used for a while, and Ryan Shazier honestly felt a little bit slower than Haason Reddick at times. Now Haason Reddick only has +1 excel on Ryan Shazier, which does make him a little bit faster. But honestly, I found that Haason Reddick was like the fastest linebacker I have used in this game so far. So like I said, I think that his speed is his biggest strength. And I think that he plays great all around usering. He can pretty much do anything. You can run around the field and do whatever you want with this card. He plays fantastic. So now for blitzing, this was kind of the low point of this card. So I would say that his coverage is his biggest weakness, but I feel like what he's worst at is blitzing. Now, the reason I say that is because he only had 1 sack throughout the entire time of me using him, and I sent him on a bunch of blitzes, and the 1 sack was basically just an improvised sack of me running around, and then finally, after playing Fagdy forever, tackling the quarterback for like a 1-yard sack. He just did not play well blitzing, and I can kind of see why, but his stats are decent. You know, if you're going to try to blitz Haason Reddick, the only way he's probably going to get a sack is if he gets through free with that speed. But other than that, he has 67 power move, 76 finesse, 77 block shed, and 75 strength. Now, the finesse, block shed, and strength seem respectable, but he didn't get any block sheds or really anything. So I was a little bit disappointed that I could not send him on blitzes like I do sometimes with Shazier. But other than that, this card is pretty good, and I would say his biggest weakness is coverage, but his blitzing is probably his worst attribute. Now, I know a lot of people don't even send their linebackers on blitzes, especially their middle linebackers. They like to have them in zone. But if you're one of those guys that likes to blitz his middle linebacker, I didn't have success with this, but maybe you do. So I guess some things to add on top of this card is that he is probably one of the best users in the game. Of course, if you're usering the card, you don't have to worry about things like coverage and being able to stop the run because you're going to be there. And the only thing that's going to make it that he doesn't stop the run is if somebody breaks a tackle, and that's not your fault. But like I said, he's a sure tackler, and honestly, I found this card to be extremely fun to play with. He did everything that I like right, and I think he's a pretty damn good card. So let's go ahead and be done with the gameplay and jump into the grades and final score. Alright, so you guys have heard me talk about each of these things. Now I'm going to go ahead and give an individual grade for each category. So coverage, I gave him a C-, and I think it's his biggest weakness because zone is important, man. And honestly, if you're going to get this card to leave him in the middle of the field, he's not going to be very reliable in zone. So you guys heard me talk about the tackle. You guys heard me say that I think his tackle is really good. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a B. The reason I give him a B is because that there's still auto broken tackles and the tackle battles and all that type of stuff. Odds are he's going to have some tackles broken on him. So I wanted to keep it fair and give him a B. So for his run stopping ability, I gave him a C. And you guys heard me say that, stopping the run wasn't really his strong suit. So I went ahead and gave him a C because I still feel like with that speed, he's going to be able to make some tackles. He's going to be able to stop the run. He's going to be able to stop running backs. It's just he's going to do it at kind of a mediocre rate. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a C. Now keep in mind that this is at the very beginning of MUT. So if I review a card later and I give that card an A+ because it has like 90+ speed, just know that, of course, now it's a little bit different. And I went ahead and gave him an A+ for speed because he's deadly. His speed is his biggest strength, and I went ahead and gave him an A+ because he deserved it, man. He's fast as fuck, and he's a beast. He plays great, and I love his speed, and that is definitely his biggest strength. Now, I did say that his biggest weakness was coverage, but his lowest grade is blitzing with a D because he just can't. He didn't do anything. I would have gave him lower, but with that speed, he's going to be able to get in there sometimes if he's able to get through a tackle and a guard, or a guard and a center. He's going to be able to get in there sometimes, so I didn't give him a really low grade, but I think a D is fair. That sounded wrong. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move on to the final rating. So on a scale of 1 to 10 on my final rating system, I'm going to go ahead and give him a 6. He's a decent card. Now, I give him a 6 because I'm grading the card on how he plays when he's by himself in zone. And how does this card play when he's left alone? He's a decent card. Can't play zone that great, has great speed, is a sure tackler, but still has trouble in blitzing situations and other situations. Mainly, like I said, in zone and blitzing. But he has strengths in tackling and his speed, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and give him 2 grades, or 2 final ratings. The first rating of a 6 is going to be for his regular ability to just sit in the middle of the field and be a normal linebacker without being usered. Now, as a user, I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8. He is a very good card. If you're going to run around the field and, user with this card, try to get picks, this card is very, very good if you're usering him. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for our first play review of Madden 18. So if you guys use this card as well, be sure to let me know if you agree or disagree with me on my final rating for this card down in the comment section below. And if you have any other questions, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below as well. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. I did hope you enjoyed, and as always, Dangerous Army, I'm out.